Elba.
What up, guys? Shane
Hello.
Smith, it's good to see you on here, bro. How are you?
Hey, good, Jesse. You remember me, huh?
I do. It's good to
Good
see you.
man.
How's your week
Yeah,
been?
thanks. Great, great. Yours?
It's wonderful. I'm trying to figure out why I've got this angelic glow going on over here. Like now, like the color's all off. I don't know what the hell's going on over here. Holy torpedo, Batman. Maybe I gotta unplug and then replug my camera in. I don't know what the hell's going on. Weird. Anyway, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Sharon, it's good to see you. Deborah Hoffman. What's up, guys? We're going to have fun today. Oh, Mariah. Mariah
Yeah,
just got back from Miami, living it up in Miami.
yeah, and it's and my husband reminded that I am like fighting the bitter wind right now to get home.
I don't envy that, ma'am. I don't envy that. While you were basking in the wonderful Miami weather, I was plowing my driveway 3 different times in one day.
Okay, I don't feel bad for you either. Actually, I
Oh
do.
boy.
Jordan, it's good to see you on here. Thanks for jumping on, friend. I gotta figure out what's going on with my lighting. It's bugging the crap out.
So great to see you. I'm in the library with little Luke, and we are here making it happen every week. I love it.
Did you say you're in the library? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, we just did our new duty station, so we don't have like we're closing on our home, so working in the library is the
Mm.
option right
Man, I cannot tell you how many times. So up here, it's funny you say that. Up here in Alaska, there was a few years ago when I uh so I'm as you guys can probably imagine, while we're waiting for a couple people to get in here, I'll share something with you. As you can imagine, the winters up here in Alaska are like long. They're really, really long. Like we've had snow as early as September before. And when I go camping on Memorial Day weekend, which is, like third week in May, there's still snow out there. There's still snow all over the place. And so from like September to May, like it's so long. Oh my goodness. It is so effing long. And so we really go all out during the summer. I spend as much time camping and fishing all over Alaska all summer long. But of course, business doesn't stop, right? So being in Alaska, I'm 4 hours behind Eastern time, if anybody doesn't know. And so we started running, we would have meetings. We would start meetings at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And for those of you guys that aren't good at math, me, that's 4 a.m. here in Alaska. And so when I'm camping, now the cool thing about Alaska during the summertime is the sun doesn't go down. It has just the opposite effect. So during the winter, we got all this darkness. And then during the summer, it's like all of this light. And it's amazing. It's the best thing in the world. You can't beat an Alaskan summer. And so I would wake up at 3 a.m. I'd try to not wake my family up as the campers kind of like teeter-tottering as I'm trying to get my ass out of the thing. And then I've got a big 3/4 ton that as soon as you start it and warm it up, it has this big so I feel like I'm waking the whole campsite up. But I go to the local library because that's the only place in town that's got Wi-Fi. I don't know if you guys have ever tried using Wi-Fi at like a campsite or something like that. It's really crap. And especially if you're trying to Zoom, you got even more bandwidth. So anyway, so I'm sitting outside the library on the sidewalk with my laptop, bumming their Wi-Fi like a homeless person, and I've got like moose just walking in front of me. Like there was a couple times where I was able to like shift my camera, and I'm like sitting outside trying to bum the Wi-Fi at 4 a.m. It's light as hell outside, and I've just got moose that are like walking all over the place. It was the most surreal thing in the world.
now. Dedication right there, and very
That's right.
Alaskan.
It was on
Maybe
those
catching
same
you at the
camping
libraries
trips.
when I'm up there in the summer.
Say that again.
But I'm gonna be catching you at the libraries when I'm up there this summer in July too.
Oh my gosh. I used to hate reading, and now they just know me at the library. It might as well
That's a
have
good
a
thing.
cot laid out for me in the back because I spend all my time there. It's amazing.
Jesse's personal reading zone.
That's right. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys being in here. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. For I'm just curious, put a one in the chat if this is your first time ever to this Zoom. Edmund, thank you for being in here, bro. Thanks for having your cam on. Looking good.
Thank you.
How do I pause real quick? Pause. Can I, Emilio, dude? How do I grow facial hair like you guys? When I was in the military, between us gals, real quick, when I was in the military for 15 years. Okay, cool. We've got a lot of ones in here. Sharon, Jonathan's in here. Edmund, June, awesome. Tonda, thank you guys. Thank you. Shane, I appreciate you guys. I'll introduce myself for a second. I was a 15-year Air Force veteran when I ended up getting into real estate. And when you join the military, you don't get to put in your 2 weeks when you're done. You join the military, and then you work in like 4-year to 6-year increments. Those are your commitments. And so I had a friend who introduced me to real estate back in early 2020. And I was like, man, you know what? You can go see what I get paid. You can go Google what the military pay grade is, and you can see exactly what I'm making, man. I don't got 6 figures just burning a hole in my pocket so that I can go buy a piece of real estate. And luckily, he was very gracious with me. And I jumped into a Zoom call that he had. He invited me. He said, hey, I got a Zoom call on Thursday. He said, why don't you just come in and be a fly on the wall? And I said, okay, that sounds good. Well, of course, this was all new to me. So, of course, I'm sitting here thinking in my head, like, okay, what excuse do I want to conjure up? And I'm trying to feel like, because I know that if I don't show, I'm going to have some kind of an excuse. And then I'm like, man, do I really want to have another conversation? Then I've got to like remember all of my lies that I'm telling so that I can it was like, nope. So against my will, kind of, I ended up jumping on this Zoom and I turned my camera off. I put myself on mute and I just sat there listening, playing games on my phone. And then I start hearing about these guys and how they're investing in properties and how they're utilizing other people's money and credit and debt to do it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is either how the 1% operate or this is a scam. Either way, I've got to go down this rabbit hole. So anyway, that's what brought me down that rabbit hole. I ended up getting out of active duty a couple years later, and it's just been such a phenomenal experience ever since. I was an instructor while I was in the Air Force. Probably the greatest thing that ever happened to me while I was in the Air Force. Loved it. Loved my time there. They sent me down there. They taught me how to be a professional public speaker and how to develop and write curriculum and coursework. And I did a lot of leadership development, a lot of the things that they actually still use today, as a matter of fact. So being able to take those experiences and bring those into what I'm doing as an entrepreneur has been one of the best blessings of my entire life. Earlier this year, Amber and I, hi Amber, good to see you. Amber and I run these Zooms together. Amber and I joined a program called Owners Club. Some of you guys might be pretty familiar with it. One of the things that Pace, who kind of runs it, challenged us with was putting together what our Mount Everest was going to be. Now, for those of you guys who have never heard about a Mount Everest is beyond just a goal, beyond something that you want to do. Your Mount Everest is beyond like, how much money do I want to make per month, or how many deals do I want to be doing? Like that's low, that's chunk change compared to what a Mount Everest is. A Mount Everest is, how do you want to impact the world? What is that 5 to 10 year goal? And I really, really love that he challenged us to do that, because what I've learned as an entrepreneur, friends, is the money you want to make is directly correlated to the caliber of skills that you bring to the marketplace. And those caliber of skills, if you want to understand what skills do I need to be building so that I can monetize something, don't ask yourself how many deals a month you want to do or how much money you want to be making. Ask yourself, what impact do I want to leave on the world? Because, friends, the money that you want to make is nothing more than a byproduct of how many people that you serve. So if you guys, for everybody who put a 1 in the chat, welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Amber and I really, really appreciate you. Amber and I have a very similar Mount Everest. I'll share mine and then I'll let Amber share hers.
Well, before you share your Mount Everest, can I add to what you just said real quick?
Please. Yeah.
So just talking about, and also Deborah commented in there, just talking about like impact. I have noticed, especially with social media, and even some of you know my Disney experience, of just boycotting Disney. And I talked about my experience on Twitter or X, and I was just blown away. And then I thought, you know what, this is not me. I'm not a negative person, so I don't even want to complain or post or try to go viral about a negative experience I've had. So I reframed it and said, I don't have to go back to Disney. This isn't going to define my life. I hate that they did this, but I'm so good. Like everything's good. And it stood out to me because my positive update got so many more views, so many more comments, so much more traction than my complaint about what happens. And I think people feel like if you complain about something, like it goes viral because everybody's had a complaining experience, just like if you go to Yelp and you see those reviews. But I have learned anecdotally firsthand that the more positive you are on social media, the more views, the more people resonated, the more magnetic you are. So whether it's your Mount Everest or whether it's whatever you're doing in your business or in your life, if you can impact people, if you can inspire them, if you can bring life into them, our default is negative because we have problems and stressors here and there. And so we're constantly trying to solve problems. But if our default is positivity, if our default is, in the scheme of things, it won't matter. Like this stress that I'm dealing with today won't matter 2 weeks from now. We won't think about it. It'll be something else. So if our default is impact, our default is love, our default is sending all of that out to people, it will come back to you a millionfold. You will have this success. If you can impact somebody's life, they're so used to not being impacted. That's the crazy thing. And especially on Twitter, like I've been all over like Instagram and Facebook and Meta and X. And so I've really been leaning into Twitter lately, and I've realized there's just not a lot of love on there. And so I'm loving people and DMing them, and they were like, "Thank you, like thank you for saying this. Thank you for commenting here. They're thanking me because they're receiving a confirmation that they haven't ever received from a stranger on TikTok." And it's like, oh, I had a guy ask me the other day, he was like, why are you saying this to me? Like, you don't even know me. You don't even know if I'm good. And I said, you might have done some bad things. Everybody's has a little bit of both, right? Like we all make mistakes. But when you were born out of love, you came into this earth as a good, innocent little human being. And if you can go back to that, and if you'll be a good person, because he was saying he hasn't lived a good life. And he's like, you're the only person who said I'm good and I'm not. And I was like, you're not because you're saying you're not. I was like, what can you do to be good today? And since then, he has liked every single post. He is commenting on everything. And he reached back out and said, you made a difference in my life. I did nothing but say a positive word. And positivity is viral. Positivity is impact. And so be a light. People need it. People need that. So I'm sorry to cry. I'm a crier. For those of you who don't know, I'm turning it back over to you, Jesse, while I wipe my tears.
Thank you for sharing that, Amber. I totally resonate. I think everybody else in here does as well. If you look at the comments. Thank you guys. This Zoom is really awesome because it's authentic in a way that I've just never seen in any other Zoom. We can be real here, and we can share what's on our mind, and we can be vulnerable, and we can feel loved and supported. And yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing what was on your heart, Amber. I appreciate that. We all benefit from that. Amber and I actually kind of.
Sorry,
Sorry?
can I reverberate what Amber said? Like
Yeah,
I posted
please.
on the chat about Dr. Masaru Emoto's experiment on like words positive, negative, and its impact on the molecular structure of water. So when it freezes, positive words create crystalline, like structural structures basically. Whereas like when they're using like negative words towards water, it becomes all like distorted and like it's not organized well. And like there was another experiment that like when someone said positive words to the plants, they grow and thrive versus when you said negative words to it, they shriveled up and died. So if at that like molecular structure of water, and we're like 50 to 75% water, and also for like plants, if it also affects plants in that same manner, just think of us how it affects us as well, right?
100%. We're 70% water.
Yeah.
You can actually see like the vibration that water has, or that how it changes from positive vibration to negative vibration. So you think about how all that affects us and our body, our health, all of that kind of stuff. Thank you, Edmund. Appreciate you sharing that. So Amber and I have a very similar, the perfect segue, you two. Thank you guys for sharing that. Amber and I have a very similar Mount Everest. So I want you guys to understand first and foremost, like why you're here, what we're going to be doing today, and how this impacts how we're trying to breed more of this positivity and this greater impact of abundance and love into the world. So Amber and I have, like I said, a very similar Mount Everest, but it is to help over 1 million people. Mine is to help 1.74 million people make $700,000 a year or more. Now, some of you guys have heard that backstory. For time's sake today, because I want to keep everything on point, I can go into why that is another time. I think some of you guys actually might find it a little interesting. But there's so many things that go into the kind of person that's capable of making that kind of money. It goes just beyond the mindset stuff. It goes beyond just the tactic stuff, beyond just the strategy. And so I want you guys, I want to acknowledge first and foremost everybody for being on here. And I want to truly express a token of gratitude on behalf of Amber and I, because I know that there are so many other things that you could be doing with your time. Your time is the most valuable resource that you have. And so the fact that you're here today, especially everybody who's repeat, and if this is your first time here, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We aim every single week to make sure that this is well worth your time, and you guys are getting 10 times more value here than you would have otherwise. So we really, really appreciate that. You guys being here is helping Amber and I accomplish our Mount Everest. So thank you for allowing us and giving us that gift and that opportunity. Let's do a recap from the last couple weeks. If you are new here, I just want to see it one more time. If you are new here or if you missed last week, either one of those, put a 1 in the chat. I'm just curious. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I see one of these individuals who I'm going to, I never ran this by them, so I'm not going to say his name, but I want to share a win real quick that I saw in our community chat this morning that I'm going to read, because I think this really kind of sets the tone for why we are here. So we are going to be doing some speed networking today. That's what we've done over the last couple weeks, is some speed networking. Now, the way that Amber and I have structured it has been with the intention of getting you guys 6 to 12 months worth of networking, intentional networking, in about a 60 to 90 minute time frame. So for those of you guys that were not here last week or you haven't done anything like this, buckle up. Today's going to be fun. Now, what we've also done the last couple weeks is we've done a major giveaway. Amber and myself, Mariah is here, and a couple other Owners Club individuals as well are putting on an event pre-squat up. So if you're planning on, put a 2 in the chat if you're going to squat up. Amy, you're going to squat up? That's awesome. You didn't tell me that, girlfriend. Let's go. Okay, cool. We got a lot of people going to squat up. Perfect. So we have a 2-day event that we are putting on 2 days before squat up. So it's going to be the March 9th and March 10th. Now, the last 2 weeks that we've done this, we've done some speed networking. And at the very end, we've got everybody who registered today, everybody who's here on this Zoom right now, we've put all of you onto a spin wheel. And so at the very end, we're going to spin that wheel. And somebody today is going to win a free ticket to our event. So if you're coming to squat up, come a couple days early if you win. If you guys want more information, I actually had a couple of, I had a couple people ask us last week more about the event. And then I had people texting me and messaging me all last week after our Thursday event. We're like, hey, where can we find more information out about your event? Where can we find more information out about your event? So I said, would it be helpful if we went over some of those details? We'll do some speed networking next week as well, because everyone seems to love that, and I think it's really, really beneficial. But would it be helpful if we went into some more of those details next week? And everyone was like, yes, that would be super helpful. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight into what you guys can expect and take away from this event. And then we're going to get into some speed networking. And then we are going to spin the wheel, and we will see who is going to win a free ticket. Now, before we do that, I think this was so awesome. And he doesn't know that I'm going to share this. So he's on here, but I'm not going to say his name unless he wants everybody to know who he is. But I think this is really, really important for what I want to share with you guys today and what I want to communicate and how I want you guys to be thinking about the speed networking that we are doing and why we are doing it and how it impacts you and your business. We are 15 days into January. And unless you do something different, unless you start developing a different identity, unless you start developing a different skill set, developing different daily habits, unless you do those things, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? It's not a new year. It's literally just another year. So part of coming to these weekly Zooms is to make sure that not only is it just not another year for you, but it's not just another week. Amber and myself dedicate time every single week for putting these things together to help you guys get from where you are to where you're trying to go. As long as you guys are coming here every single week, there should never, all year long, there should never, I can promise you this, there should never be a week that is identical 2 weeks in a row for you. If you're coming here, you're showing up, you're taking action, you're taking notes, and then you go and do, you should never have 2 weeks in a row. I can promise you that. This individual texted in our group community chat this morning. He said, he said a few things beforehand. Then he said, prayers also appreciated. As I have a lead with a company buying businesses that has offered me upfront pay for every business that I underwrite and equity on the back end for every business that they buy. I could not be more proud of this individual. The reason he was able to do that was because he's focused on one thing, ladies and gentlemen. He's focused on one thing. He's focused on one skill set, one thing. And in this case, he has a knack for underwriting, which is so weird because I don't understand it. I would never want to go underwrite. This guy underwrites in his own time. You know, while most of us would probably be sitting somewhere, you know, at IHOP, you know, playing crossword puzzles and doing all that other kind of stuff. This guy sits here and underwrites. Like, he's probably going to develop an app for people who just want to underwrite all day because he loves doing that. That's his pastime. In his eulogy, that's what's going to be on there. Jesse's going to be like, oh, he loves long walks on the beach and he loved playing guitar and music. And this individual is going to be, he loved his family and underwriting. I don't get it, but more kudos to him. But here's what's really cool is he loves it. And it's one thing that he does better than anybody else. And he's decided that, hey, I'm going to dedicate my time to learning and understanding this one skill. And if I focus all of my time, energy, and effort on just this one thing, I don't have to worry about... Oh, who's off mute? I don't have to worry about all the other parts to the business. I don't have to worry about anything else. I don't have to worry about getting lists. I don't have to worry about cold calling. I don't have to worry about negotiating, saying the wrong thing, saying the right thing. I don't have to worry about finding buyers. You get paid. Write this down. If you have not written this down yet, write this down. If you've written it down, write it down again. This is something I will probably have on my gravestone, as well as a couple of other things I'm going to share with you guys today. But let this be an example to everybody here that you get paid in direct proportion to the caliber of skill set that you bring to the marketplace. So as I say that, I want you guys to think about some of the things that you're spending your time doing right now. I want you to ask yourself, David, you're most welcome, brother. David Roberts. David, give David some love, guys. This is amazing. These are the opportunities that can happen when you're focused on one thing. Who in here wouldn't mind creating active income, focusing on one thing? What if that was the only thing? What if all the decisions that you had to make for your entire day just revolved around one thing? How much more time could you allocate to your friends, to your family? How much more time could you allocate to doing the things that you want to do? That's what we're aiming for. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why we're doing these speed networking Zooms. Because each and every single one of you, there's 8 billion people on this planet. And here's the crazy part. Here's something that I didn't know. I spent so much of my time in my early years as an entrepreneur comparing myself to everybody else. Anybody else ever get on the gram and just look at what everybody else is doing? And it's like, holy crap, man. It seems like everybody else is killing it, and I'm still over here trying to figure this out. I'm juggling this, and I've got this, and I haven't been paid for this, and I haven't been paid for that. Anybody else feel like that? How much easier would it be when you can eliminate all the distractions? You can say no to everything because you have all the clarity you need. Like, if David's like, if somebody approaches David and they're like, hey, David, I've got this deal. We need a cold call. We got this RV park. And David's like, nope, don't need it. Not in my wheelhouse. Not what I'm going to do. Not even a second thought. How awesome would that be to have that kind of clarity, guys? To look at all the opportunities that you see, all the opportunities that are hopping into your DM, all the opportunities that you guys are getting emailed, and how awesome would that be? Think about how empowering that would be for a second. How awesome would that be to look at that shit and with the utmost confidence be like, no, because I know what I'm going to do to go create active income. Now, here's the really cool part that I didn't tell you guys. Is David doing anything else in the business? Nope. So is the business still running without him? Because he's not doing all the things? How awesome would it be to finally own a business that runs without you? That, ladies and gentlemen, is why we're here. You already possess, you are one of 8 billion people on this planet, and you possess skills and abilities and experiences far above and beyond anybody else on this earth. Because nobody can be you. I was on a Zoom last night with a couple other individuals, and they were brand new to real estate investing. And they started back in May, and last night was the first time meeting them. And we said, well, hey, why haven't you been in on these Zooms? And she said, well, I just didn't feel like I had anything to offer. Does anybody else feel like that? Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt like that. I'm new. I don't have anything to offer. What am I going to say? Who am I going to serve? Jump into a Zoom? What am I going to do? I felt like that. I'll put a 1 in the chat. And as we started asking her more about her life, what she's doing, come to find out she's a mother. I think she said she had 4 children. She runs a couple different businesses. She's in Fairbanks, Alaska, which if you guys don't know, Fairbanks is a rough place to live. My goodness. I see Tonda shaking her head. Fairbanks has the greatest temperature fluctuation of anywhere in the world. It can get negative 100 in the winter and it can get up to 100 degrees in the summer. A 200 temperature degree fluctuation. Could you imagine living in some place like that? And then trying to build a business? Like, holy torpedo, Batman. So come to find out, she has all this experience of, and again, she lives in Alaska, so she lives 4 hours behind East Coast time. So is it fair to say that she has a little bit of grasp on what it means to be consistent, to hammer down a calendar, to put together a schedule that allows her and empowers her to be an attentive mother and spouse while simultaneously supporting her team and the things that they need? Is it fair to say that we could all learn something from somebody like that? Even if they don't know anything about real estate. Is there anybody who wouldn't benefit from learning something like that? My point is, just like her, each and every single one of you in here have experiences, and you have skill sets, and you have abilities that make you so stinking unique. And there is somebody that's waiting for you to come in and help them, regardless of how confident you feel. They say this whole business is 90% mindset. And you guys can kind of see why. Amber, is there anything you want to add on this before I continue?
Mute monster got me. I am trying to add these names to the wheel. So I'm going to let you continue while I keep adding the names.
Perfect. Cool. So I want you guys to write this down. It doesn't take money to make money. It doesn't take money to make money. Contrary to popular belief, ladies and gentlemen, it does not take money to make money. And then I want you to write, it takes resources. It does not take money to make money. It takes resources. And so you, each and every single one of you, have to learn how to become resourceful. You have to learn how to become a person of resource. So unless you learn these things, unless you can find that one thing that you want to focus on and take that and just go through as many people as you can and saying, hey, here's what I can help you out with. Here's what I can help you out with. Here's what I can help you out with. As well as being a resource for other people and referring other people, you will go so far. I'm gonna share something with you guys that I did not realize at first. So I can give you guys a real tangible example of what I'm talking about, how this works and how this correlates to making active income right here and right now. By the way, is there anybody in here, type me, the word me, if you don't know what you're currently good at? As I'm talking about this right now, type me as you're sitting here thinking, you know what? I hear what Jesse's saying. It's making sense so far, but I don't feel like I can even take step one yet because I'm not even sure what I'm good at. I'm not even sure what value I have. I'm not even sure how I could take my experiences and even funnel that into any kind of a skill set. Rachel says I have the opposite problem. Okay, I've got a really good friend in here, Madison. Madison is in here. We're going to kind of streamline this because if you guys, what Amber has put together is a master prompt. Now, if you guys don't know what a master prompt is something you can put into Chat GPT or AI. You can literally copy and paste it into Chat GPT or AI. And the way that we've designed it is it will interview you. And so you copy and paste this master prompt into Chat GPT, and Chat GPT is going to start interviewing you with very specific questions, and it's going to interview you in a very specific way. So by the end of this, you'll find out, hey, here's something that you are good at. Here's something that you could be monetizing right now. So what I had you guys do before was go post in Facebook and tag Amber in it. But what I've discovered is sometimes Facebook algorithm being the Facebook that it is, sometimes not everybody gets notified and all that kind of stuff. So I want to streamline that process for you. So I asked Madison, who's on our team, if she wouldn't mind being in here for us today to kind of help us streamline some of these things. If you guys want access, everybody who put me in the chat, if you want access or if you would love to just explore and see what that Chat GPT prompt looks like, completely free. I'm going to let Madison go ahead and put her information in there. Just go ahead and reach out to her, and Madison will get you guys that prompt. Thank you, Madison. Really appreciate you doing that. Thank you for being here. So let me share with you guys something that maybe hopefully will help bridge the gap and help you guys kind of understand a little bit about what I'm talking about. Some of you guys have heard this story before. Hopefully, as you kind of rehear things, if you've heard this story before, hopefully it kind of just reinforces some of the things that we have gone over already and get you to take action on it a little bit differently, or maybe even a little bit faster. You can always tell how hungry somebody is by their sense of urgency. So you get a lot of people that are like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm going to be the one. I want to create generational wealth. But then you can see how hungry they are based on their sense of urgency. How fast will they go from idea to execution? So Madison put her information in there. Thank you, Madison. If you guys are hungry, this is your first test. How fast are you going to text Madison? How fast do we go from idea to execution? My mom used to tell me growing up, because I used to have, when I first got into real estate, I thought the exact same thing. I was like, man, what do I focus on? How do I make money? Matter of fact, one of the things that I was told, and probably a lot of you guys in here, if not everybody, can resonate with, is the problem with real estate is there are so many ways to be successful in it. It's like, how do I know where do I pick? Where's my lane? I felt the exact same way. And my first year in real estate, because I live in Alaska, I'm 4 hours behind. Here's the situation that I was in. I was in the military. My wife is a nurse who's working nights. I get home from work at 5 p.m. I get off at 4. I got an hour drive home. I get home at 5. I'm high-fiving my wife, and she's heading to work that night. Now I've got to clean the house. I've got to make dinner. I've got to get my kids fed. I got to get my kids bathed. As I'm outlining this, I want you to think, hey, what are some similarities? What are some things that you guys have to do? What does your day look like? I got to get my kids in bed. I had to work on my college degree at the time. I was finishing up my college degree. And simultaneously, I had just started this brand new business. And I had to figure out how in the crap am I going to grow this business when by the time I walk through the door, it's 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Best case scenario, I'm able to call at 9, which I'm not. Best case scenario, I couldn't start calling until 9 p.m. So I had to figure out, how am I going to solve this? So in order for me to get any kind of momentum, I had this epiphany one day and I was like, you know what I could do? I could wake up at 3 a.m. That's 7 a.m. in Florida. Maybe a little early, but it's probably better than calling people at midnight. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. I got my cell phone and I got my laptop and I went out to my garage in my car. Or in my car in my garage. So I didn't start waking my family up at 3 a.m. making calls. And that's how I got started. So I would work from 3 a.m. till I had to be to work at 7 a.m. There's 4 hours. I'd work all day and then I'd get home at 5. And that's when I would schedule networking meetings. I'd schedule meetings with my partners. We'd go over KPIs, metrics. I'd be using that time to handle some of the backside of the business. So my first year, I'm working almost 80 hours a week. And after year 1, ladies and gentlemen, I made $1,200. 80 hours a week, making $1,200. I was the Thomas Edison of real estate. Now, of course, when I say that, I'm not talking about I'm sitting over here making light bulbs, but you know what? I found 1,000 ways to waste my time. I found 1,000 ways to not be consistent. I found 1,000 ways, guys, to not get a deal done. Anybody else ever felt like that? Anybody else just like spinning your wheels like, oh my gosh, I almost feel like Tanya's like got both hands way up in the air. Yep, that's me. That was me. I lived that. So I went to a mastermind with Pace in the beginning of 2022. And he said something that changed everything. And it has been literally life-changing ever since. And I want to give that to you guys. So I had this epiphany. This was what I was going through. Maybe some of you guys are feeling this right now. Maybe some of you guys have a lot of your own stuff that you have going on and you have limited time and you got families, and maybe some of you guys have a W-2 and maybe you have sick parents or just other obligations. Your kids have sports. You have all these things going on. I get that. I had all of those as well. I still do. In addition to, I still live up here in an igloo in Alaska. So I'm still on a time handicap. But I had this epiphany. Pace told me, he said, Jesse, whenever you have a problem in your business, he said, what most people do is they look at that problem and they say to themselves, how am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to fix this? If it's something I don't know or know how to do, now I've got to go learn it. I've got to go learn this thing, and then if I can figure out how to bring somebody on, then I got to train them on how to do that. I said, okay, yeah, that literally sounds like me. He's like, yeah, that's what most people do. And I'm kind of waiting. I'm like, okay, is there like a light bulb moment after this, or does he just know all my flaws? And he said, Jesse, when you have a bottleneck in your business, he said, the answer is not, how do I fix this? He said, the answer is, who? Who is already doing this? And who do I need to bring into my business? Now, guys, I don't know if it's just the 15 years of military in me or what it is, but I only had to be told to do that one time. In the military, when somebody tells you to do something, you do it. There isn't a question. There isn't, well, wait a minute, I got to talk to the commander. What's his vision for this thing? I got to see the whole game plan. When are we getting deployed? Why are we getting deployed over here? Who's setting up where? Where am I living? And by the way, I was chair force, so I was like, where's the pool tables? Where's the swimming pool going to be at? Where's the bar? It wasn't my job to know any of those things. They said, Sergeant Stanton, you go and do this. And I say, yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. And that's it. So I don't know if it was 15 years of just when I get told to do something, I just go and do it. But what I've noticed from some people, and I want to pass this on to you guys so you guys don't fall into a trap that I see a lot of people do. Right there, Pace metaphorically gave me the answers to the test. He said, hey, Jesse, by the way, the answer to 1 is A. And you know what I did? I went and took the answer to that test, and I went and filled up my Calendly. I filled up my Calendly with meetings that were 8 hours a day for about 4 or 5 months. Now, here's what I want to share with you guys. Here is where I started to learn how to monetize and create active income, focusing on one thing, doing the exact same thing David is doing and so many other people inside of our community is doing. Because I thought the same thing. I thought, well, what skills do I have? What do I have to offer somebody? I said, you know what? I contemplated on this. Obviously ChatGPT wasn't around there back then. That sounds so weird. Does that sound weird to say to anybody? ChatGPT wasn't around back then. Is that the standard that we're going to start referencing when we talk about time now? Back in my day before ChatGPT. Well, back in my day before ChatGPT, I actually kind of had to put a little bit of thought into this. And I thought back and I'm like, man, you know what? My mom used to call me a social butterfly. If nobody in here can tell. And I thought to myself, well, how in the hell do you monetize being a social butterfly? Now, if there's anybody else in here who's a social butterfly, write this down because I'm going to kind of walk you through what I discovered. Well, what does a social butterfly entail? Well, first and foremost, I love talking to people. Seema says, me too. Okay, perfect. This is right for you, Seema. I thought, you know what? Me too. I'm a social butterfly. What does that even mean? What does that entail? I love talking to people. That's a start. So if I'm trying to figure out how do I make money as a social butterfly in real estate, maybe a good start would be talking to people. So this is back before they had these avatars, like leader and connector and wholesaler and gator, like none of these things existed. It was just you're either a visionary or an integrator. That was all that existed back then. Back in my day, that was it. So I was like, well, I know I'm not an integrator. I must be a visionary. And so I filled up my Calendly. And I said, hey, you know what? Here's what I like to do. I can talk to people. I can close deals. That's what I can do. That's what I discovered after my first couple of years. My whole Thomas Edison thing. I figured out how to not be consistent. I did all the work myself. I literally did every piece of the business myself. As an entrepreneur, I want you guys to write this down. As an entrepreneur, your job is to not solve your own problems. Too many people, ladies and gentlemen, wake up every single day, including myself at one point. Too many people wake up every single day, and the thought in their head is, how do I solve my problems? How do I solve my own problems? What do I have going on in my day? What do I have going on in my business? How do I solve my own problems? If you are thinking that, you are wrong. You should be waking up every day and saying, how do I solve everybody else's problem? You want to go make money? That is the question that you ask. How do I solve everybody else's problem? And when I had that epiphany, that's when everything changed. I filled up my Calendly 8 hours a day. I was meeting with almost 200 people a week for an hour long at a time with only one intent, was to close people's deals. That was it. I didn't have money. I had put almost $60,000 of debt on a credit card up to that point. I've tried the whole VA route. I was paying for leads. Yeah, I was closing deals and stuff, but I didn't want to do that again. I didn't want to rack up $60,000 of credit card debt, hiring a VA, skip tracing lists, getting a dialer, doing all the things. And so I thought to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my skill set, and instead of waking up every day trying to figure out how to solve my problem, I'm going to go solve everybody else's problem with that one thing. That's the one thing David did. That's the one thing we have a lot of people in our community doing. That's what I still do to this day. This was the epiphany. This was the turning point for me. Once I understood that, it was game over. Now it was like, okay, out of these 200 people, there's got to be somebody. There's got to be somebody who has a VA, who has a CRM, who has a dialer, and who has leads coming in. And the only thing that they're missing is either the time to call those leads or the skill set to call and close those leads. Boom. That is the problem that I can solve. And before you know it, they started adding me. I started having conversations with people, and they started adding me, started giving me access to their CRMs. So boom, now all of a sudden I took my skill set with zero overhead, by the way. I'm not paying for VAs and systems and all these things because I'm solving everybody. I'm focused on everybody else. I'm solving everybody else's problem. So they started getting me plugged into all their CRMs. And then when it got to be too much, guys, I started building my own team of other people who are good at one thing, closing deals, and getting my team plugged in to their CRMs. And within 8 weeks, this was 4 years ago, within 8 weeks, within 2 months, I made $72,000. Zero overhead, no money out of pocket, brand new business. Made $72,000. My clients are doing the same thing. You just heard David's now negotiated himself. Now David's getting equity in businesses by focusing on one thing. How can I talk to enough people where I can be a resource in this way that is mutually beneficial, that we both get to grow from? Guys, I wasn't doing anything other than calling warm leads. I wasn't cold calling. You guys get that right. I was not cold calling. I was calling warm leads. Their VA was sending me deals. And the pain point for all, again, a lot of these people was they either were spending money. When you got leads coming in, you don't turn that off. So they were paying for leads that were just collecting dust. Now, I could sit here and pull out an Excel document and we could go through numbers and stuff on why this works, but it doesn't create lasting change. There has to be an identity shift that happens. One of the things that I went over with you guys last week, what did I have you guys do when I had you pull out your phones? Put it in the chat. What did you guys do? For everybody who wasn't here the last couple of weeks, I had you guys pull out your phones or your Apple Watches. And what did I have you guys do? Put it in the chat for everybody who wasn't there. Okay, I had you set a timer for every 2 hours. And I told you to make this timer go off every 2 hours with a very specific purpose. Why was that? To become your 8-figure self. When I was in the military, anytime that you made a new rank, So you become a staff sergeant when you hit E5. So as soon as people hit E5, here was the expectation. Everybody didn't expect you to operate at an E5. You have E5, E6 is a technical sergeant, E7 is a master sergeant. As an E5, the expectation was not that you operated and thought and executed like an E5. And it wasn't that you did it as an E6. It was that you did it as an E7. So they wanted you thinking 2 pay grades above where you were. I think the Air Force produces the greatest leaders in the entire world. Your identity, your story that you're telling yourself is keeping you from taking the gifts that you have right now and monetizing them in a way that you could. I'm telling everybody right here, right now on this Zoom. A couple years ago, about 3 years ago, my family got in a car wreck. Somebody ran a light and hit us. My wife and I had 2 kids in the car at the time. They totaled our Durango. And I had to go figure out what kind of car do I want? I hadn't purchased a new vehicle in like 7 years up to that point. So I'm like doing some research, like, okay, I'm kind of getting a little bit excited. New car, new thing, insurance paid us out pretty well for it. I'm excited. So of course I get on my phone, I'm scrolling, and I'm looking at all the things, and I'm like, man, what car do I want to buy? Am I going to get a Suburban? Am I going to get a van? I'm a rock dad, dude. Am I a van guy now? Like, is that my new identity? I can't be seen as a van guy. I'm going to get judged. Can't get a van. Okay, I don't want a Suburban. I don't want to feel like a turn radius. You guys ever seen Austin Powers when he's got to do like a 10-point turn? I didn't want to have to do the whole Austin Powers thing either. So I came across this vehicle that was similar to our Dodge Durango. It was called a Chevy Traverse. Now, up to that point, I've never even heard of a Chevy Traverse. For anybody who doesn't know, I didn't know at the time, a Chevy Traverse is basically Chevy's equivalent of a Dodge Durango. It's a 3-seat or a 3-row midsize SUV. It's like, well, I love Chevy, so I'm gonna learn more a little bit about this. So of course I go on YouTube and I start looking at all the things, start looking at all the trim levels and what it comes with, the different packages, the different tiers. And I live up here in Alaska, so I'm like, well, I've got to have heated seats. Does this have a cold weather package on it? Now, guys, up to this point, I became so obsessed. I put the blinders on, and every spare second I had, I'm researching Chevy Traverses. So I'd never heard of them. I didn't know what the hell it was. But probably like almost all of you guys, I would imagine you don't walk onto a car dealership and say, hey, I got $500 a month to spend. Joe, give me whatever you got for $500. You guys probably have a very specific car you're looking for. You probably have very specific needs and things that you need taken care of. And here's the interesting thing. Me, having never seen or heard of a Chevy Traverse up to that point, as I put my blinders on, as I started dedicating all of my time, energy, and effort towards understanding what a Chevy Traverse, I started watching people on YouTube test drive these cars. I'm 6'2". So I'm like, well, I got to find a tall guy to test drive this and give me his review on it so I know that I'm going to fit in it. Interesting things started happening, guys. When I went to go drop my kids off at school the next day, what do you think I saw in the drop-off line? When my wife would send me to Walmart to pick up groceries, what do you think I saw on the highway driving next to me? Now, was it that those Chevy Traverses were never there? And is Jesse just such an effing trendsetter that as soon as I get a Chevy Traverse, all of a sudden everybody in Alaska is like, I've got to have one. Jesse's got one. I've got to have. I'd like to believe so. My ego would like to believe so, but I don't think so. I don't think I'm there yet. No, they were there the whole time. I just didn't see them. Now, I'm here to tell you, the reason I share that with you is I'm here to tell you it takes just as much time, energy, and effort to go make $100,000 a month as it does to make $10,000 a month. There's different levers you have to pull. There's different things you have to focus on. 2 weeks ago, when we did the speed dating, there was a young lady that I talked to. I don't know if she's in here or not, but she said, I'm focused on multifamily and single family. I said, you need to pick one. I said, there is so much that goes into both of those things. What you're lacking is the experience of knowing the amount of volume that either one that you're going to have to do with either one. And again, it doesn't take money to make money. It takes resources. So even the amount of time that you're going to have to commit to finding those resources to really get either one of those avenues up to a level that's going to get you to an income that you're trying to achieve is going to require more than you think it is. Guys, there are Chevy Traverses right here in this Zoom right now. There are opportunities right here, right now, that are waiting for you. Just like I was blind to those Chevy Traverses before I ever even started looking for them. Once it came into my vision and I knew what I was looking for and why I was looking for them, I started to see them everywhere. And now that's all I see. I've trained my mind so well that I spend 25% of my time now just looking for talent. I stay in my lane and I do not veer from that. I do the one thing that I am really good at. And I let other people who are smarter than me take hold of those other areas that they are good at. David is a shining example of somebody that's doing that exact same thing. Amber does the exact same thing. So, all of this to say, you guys asked what this event before going to Squat Up is, this 2-day event that we're doing. This is it. This is what that 2-day event is all about. To be able to come together in person, to have an experience. I know a lot of events you guys go to, the values, it's always networking. It's always out in the hallway. Not ours. The value is right here in the seat. It's in person. It's happening inside the room. We're going to be showing you guys in person how to build a business around active income. Showing you how you can take things that you're already good at right here, right now, giving you multiple examples already that you could be doing, and then how to go find all those people and solve all of their problems with that one thing. Whether that's real estate or not, it literally doesn't matter. We're going to show you guys on day one how to go and build active income. What kind of a business do you need to have? What does that business look like? On day two, we're going to be showing you guys who do you need to be bringing into your business, depending on what it is you're trying to do. Who are you bringing into your business? Because as you guys know, Squat Up, the next 3 days at Squat Up, there's estimated to be between 3,000 and 4,000 people there. So my goal for you guys, for everybody who comes to the event, my goal for you guys leaving that event is to challenge you and say, hey, based on what we went through the day, the clarity that you have, as a matter of fact, we've put a workbook together, like everything for you guys. We've built an entire app just for you guys with a dashboard so you guys can actually see and track your progress in real time beyond the event. You guys are in this beyond just the event. It's not something you code to, one and done. You're in this. We're going to show you guys who you need to be connecting with. You want to talk about Chevy Traverses? You're going to have 3,000 and 4,000 people there. It doesn't take money to make money. It takes resources. We're going to show you how to become a person of resource. You guys are going to get access to that app. You guys are going to get access to all of us. As a matter of fact, I don't guarantee a lot of things, but I will guarantee this. If you come to this event and be halfway through on day 2, so you spend a day and a half with us, if by noon on the second day, you don't feel like it was worth 10 times more than what you paid for, I will bring my checkbook and I will personally refund you, no questions asked. I will thank you and say thank you for coming. Thank you for the feedback. I've never met anybody else who puts an event on who simultaneously says, oh yeah, if you thought it sucked and you didn't get 10 times more than what you paid for, let me know. I will eat it. Now, usually these the ones we put on they range anywhere between $697 to $397, or I'm sorry, $697 to $997 for you guys today. And this is exclusive. This is just for the people that are on here right now. It's $397. That's it. $397. If you guys are planning on going to Squad Up, you feel like you would benefit from something like this, for being able to have your hand held, get a workbook, get access to an app, get more people so you know over the next 3 days of what resources you need and how to approach them. As a matter of fact, here's what I would challenge you guys with. Regardless whether or not you come to the event or not, you should be thinking about, when you go to something like that, I would challenge you to think about, what if I could only walk away from that experience with 5 people's phone numbers? Because as you guys know, you guys probably walk away from something like that with a couple hundred phone numbers. And then you come back and it's like, well, who am I going to connect with? Where do I even start? And nothing happens. You're back in your same 4 walls that you were before an event. The entire point of this is to change that, is to change you. It's to change your identity while you are in there. I don't think I finished my point when everybody said, I have you guys put a 2-hour timer on your watch. Do it right now. If you haven't done it yet, put a timer that goes off on your phone every 2 hours. Because just like we were trained in the military to think and operate 2 ranks ahead of us, if you're still in that 6-figure area, 0 to 6 figures, you should be thinking not in terms of like, what would your 7-figure self do, but what would your 8-figure self do? How would they act? How would they think? And when that timer goes off, it's meant to serve as a trigger for you right here and right now, so you can audit what you're doing in real time. When your timer goes off, I want you to look at where you are in your day, and I want you to say, hey, is this something my 8-figure self would be doing? Because if it's not, then you need to stop. Madison, will you mind putting your contact information in there one more time? Madison, is Madison still here? Oh, perfect. Thank you, friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, there is no sales pitch. The cool thing about our events, if you've talked to anybody who's been to our events, they pretty much sell themselves. They're not meant to do anything other than make sure you guys get the results. That's why I put a guarantee on them. Everything that I've done, to include these Zooms, has been from the standpoint of what would I have needed when I was at a certain place to get me to where I am now. Whether that was support or a certain environment or a conversation or consistency in some way or helping me focus on one thing to get me a certain result. That's why these exist. So if you guys want more information, Madison is more than happy, willing, and able. There's no pitch. There's no nothing like that. It's literally if you just want to know more information and to see if it's a good fit for you. Madison went ahead and put her contact information in the chat. You guys can schedule a time with her. She's awesome. But we put this together with a handful of other Owners Club members as well, who've done extremely well in the exact same area. I see Mariah. I don't know if Mariah is still on here. Mariah was in here. Mariah is one of those individuals that we're putting this on with as well. And so it's all about helping everybody understand, what am I good at? How can I create today money? Because real estate, guys, real estate is a long-term game. If anybody has been in real estate for any amount of time, you know that it's not hey, I need today money. Hey, I want to leave my W-2. If you're wholesaling, you know that 70% of wholesale deals never pass the finish line. How many times have you ever told yourself, oh, I'd love to go do this thing. I'd love to go to this event. I'd love to take my family, but I'm waiting for this deal to close. I've told myself that way too many times. So if you're putting your income in somewhere where you're just checking a box and saying, hey, if I could get this, I hope this happens, you're not doing yourself any favors. You don't get paid for anything else other than how good are you and what value can you provide to the marketplace. That's why we're here. That's what this event is about. What do you guys think? Should we do some networking? Should we find some Chevy Traverses? Okay. Does anybody have any questions over anything that I've gone over so far? Clarity on anything? Because obviously this is all correlated to like the speed dating that we're going to be doing. Any questions about the event? We had a lot of people reach out over the last couple of weeks about, tell me more about the event. It's going to be March 9th and 10th. It's going to be in Denver. So 2 days before, and then I think Pace is having a get-together the night of the 10th. So we'll finish up on the 10th and go right over to the meetup, the get-together that he's having. So you guys should be taking the skill sets and the resources that you guys are getting from the event right into the networking event that night. There should be no reason that actually anybody leaves Squad Up still not knowing what they need to be doing. So that's why we've developed an app that costs about $75,000 to put together just for you guys, to help you guys track this stuff. So it's not just an event you go to and then it's like one and done. You're there, you're in the app, you're connecting with everybody, you're networking, you're leveraging the group. You guys know how important community is. Deborah, thank you so much for putting that in there. Let's get started networking real quick. Deborah so kindly put the script. Now, there's frameworks and there's scripts. Okay. Does anyone not know the difference between a framework and a script? Usually, if I'm going to call a seller or I'm doing something like that, I'll use kind of like a framework. That way it allows me to still be me, because you guys have probably tried it before, or you've heard somebody. When you use a script and you're cold calling a seller or something like that, like, you can tell it's a script. When you use a framework, it allows you a little bit more flexibility. Here's what we are going to do for everybody who's new in here. I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms. And I'm going to give you guys, and the feedback everyone's gotten is 3 minutes. We're going to do 3 minutes. I'd like to see you guys do it in 2 minutes. I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes. We're going to do breakout rooms of either 2 or 3 people. Deborah put a script that I gave you guys from 2 weeks ago. So what you're going to go over, there's going to be no pleasantries. There's going to be no, hey, I'm in Alaska. It's great, guys. This is awesome. Thanks for being here, blah, blah, blah. We're skipping all of that. The entire point is to go through number 1, what is your name and what do you do best? So I'm going to give you guys, you have a couple seconds to think about that. What is your name? What do you best? Or what do you do best? Number 2, what is your next major milestone? So as an example, if you guys are buying properties, your next major milestone might be raising X amount of dollars in capital or getting X amount of deals from wholesalers. This is my next major milestone. As a buyer, the end result you're looking for is, I want to own properties. Okay, cool. In order for you to do that, what's that next major milestone that you need to get that result? So that is number 2. Number 3, what are the resources that you need? Actually, I hold on. Let me back up. So what is your next major milestone? So if you're a buyer, as an example, that might be my next major milestone is buying my next property or my next fourplex or my next pad split or whatever it is. Number 3 is what is the resources that you need? So that may be X amount of deals sent to you from wholesalers. It could be raising X amount of money. You need to talk to X amount of lenders. You need resources to DSCR products or different loan products. Number 4, your currency. Now, your currency is basically what do you have to offer? What can you offer today? So like David, if he was going through this, David would say, I'm really good at underwriting. That's what I can offer to you guys today. If you need underwriting or if you know anybody who comes across anybody who needs underwriting, that is my currency. That is what I can help out with. And then number 5, how can someone connect with you? So whether you want to be connected with over Facebook or Instagram, OnlyFans, Emilio. It's actually how Emilio and I know each other. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I saw Seema's face. Seema, that was a joke. I'm just kidding. We like to have fun here, guys. So those are your 5 things. So you guys are going to have, depending on if you have 3 people in your group, you're going to have 60 seconds to get through those 5 things. And it's really quick. Like there's no need for pleasantries. Somebody just start and boom, this is my name. This is what I do best. This is the next major milestone that I'm looking at. This is what I need. This is what I can help with. And this is how somebody can connect with me. This is how you find that Chevy Traverse. I don't want you guys to have to do what I did, where I had to go through 200 hours, 200 people a month just to find this. So the whole point is to condense the amount of people that you talk to and the resources that you need, the networking that you would do that would normally take you months or even up to a year, in as little as even in this Zoom or even just 2 Zooms. So that's what we're doing. Does anybody have any questions before I break everybody out into a breakout room? As an instructor, we used to say clear as mud. Okay. Clear as mud. Cool. So I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms. You guys have your 5 things. Let's go do some rotations. Okay. You guys will come back after about 3 minutes. And then I'm just going to keep sending you guys back out. So you guys get to just network with as many people as you can. Cool.
Just a few rounds, and then don't forget we have surprises at the very end. So
yes, thank you. We do have surprise. I forgot about that. Appreciate
okay,
you.
let's go into the breakout rooms.
All right. Mr. Cruz.
Did you stop the recording?
Well, how was that, guys?
I was abandoned in a room by myself.
What? You were?
Yeah.
What did you learn?
Oh, yeah. Myself and I had a great conversation.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's a full-time job managing that when you got people jumping in and out while we're simultaneously trying to make sure that everybody has somewhere to go.
That was cool.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Was that good? What were some takeaways? Put it in the chat. What were some takeaways for you guys? This is exactly how networking should be. If you're saying yes to so many things, when you come in here and everybody's on the same page in terms of intentionality and clarity around what they're looking for, it's such a wonderful thing to be able to look at opportunities, hear what people are saying, and say no, and feel confident in that. Okay. Because once that opportunity comes that you can say yes to, it's like, yes, that's when I can go an inch wide and a mile deep on that. That's when I can go be a David Roberts. That's when I can go do what Jesse did and just do one thing and solve everybody's problem. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
All right, guys, we ready?
Beautiful. Let's pick a winner for today's. You got to be present to win. You have to be present to win. So we'll see. Let's see what happens.
Second, Zoom has the Zoom menu up here where I can't click on anything. All right. We ready?
All right, let's go.
Shuffle the names. Ah! So,
oh, Hillary! Is Hillary here?
Yeah, hello.
Hillary, blink twice if you're here.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
You guys.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
So cool.
Hillary, who invited you?
Monica Kunis.
Monica did? Oh,
Yes.
Hillary and Monica, let's go. If you guys didn't know, we announced this last week. We said, hey, we're going to be doing a drawing. We're going to be giving away a free ticket every single week. So everybody who shows up gets added to that wheel. If you invite people to the Zoom, and if one of those people that you invited, whether it's 1, 5, or 20 people that you invited, one of those people get selected for a free ticket, guess what? You get a free ticket as well because you invited them. You are the leader. Let's go. So we're going to do this again next week. What's that, Hillary?
That is awesome. My husband was hooting in the back room. Thanks.
I love that. Congratulations to Hillary and Monica. If y'all invite people, like we said, you also get a ticket. And guess what? You can win again. So if you win again, you can bring a partner, a spouse, a friend. You can gift it to somebody else, pay it forward. So don't stop coming in because you can absolutely win again. So thank you so much. I hope y'all made some wonderful connections today.
This was awesome. Yeah, thank you guys for showing up. Madison, real quick, we have a link to the what's it called? To the event. If anybody wanted to go check it out, Madison put it in the chat right there. You guys can click on it. Thank you guys. Appreciate you all. Really, really looking forward to this. We're going to have an amazing time. We're going to have so much stinking fun. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys next week. Remember, the more people you invite, the more chances you get to win for you and somebody else to come in to win a ticket. We're so excited to see you guys. We're going to have such an amazing time. Event's going to be fun. Excited to see you guys in Denver. And then obviously we are going to make it rain at Squad Up.
I
This is
just
gonna
want
be
to tell
fun.
everybody to save the chat. Then you get everybody's contact info.
That's right.
Thank
Save
you,
the
Monica.
chat.
Appreciate you. Guys, we're going to be doing some speed networking every single week. Again, you come here every single week. I promise you, you take action on the things we talked about. You should never, ever, ever have a week where there's 2 weeks in a row. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week.
Bye, Jesse. Stay warm.
Thanks, friend. You too.
Bye.